Hello, this is Megan.
And this is Mark.
Welcome to our third video journal of the Marvel Land construction at Disneyland California Adventure Park. Today is August 3rd, 2019.
Here we can see that more beams have been added to the new building closest to Guardians of the Galaxy attraction. And notice that some of these horizontal beams are perforated. These are called cellular beams, and they're very versatile and surprisingly lightweight, making cellular beams easy to work with. Since they're lighter, it reduces column and footing sizes. The most important benefits when using such sections are the improved weight-to-stiffness ratio. Notice that there's temporary support bracing at the end of the cellular beams. A crane is lifting a stack of steel decking to be placed on the top of the beams of the building. Now that the decking's on top, workers are releasing the crane cable. Next, we'll go and pix our pal around to see this area from that perspective. We have a good view of the temporary support bracing at the end of the cellular beams. About a week ago, WDW News Today released concept art of the final look of this building. And things definitely match up. Notice that the ends of the building do not have columns holding the side of the roof up. And this is where the cellular beams are located. And from this concept art, you can actually see the end of the cellular beams sticking out a little bit. And the cellular beams will create an overhang. Since there's no columns on the side, the support beams will eventually be put on top. And it's cool, this building is going to be a microbrewery. And it'll be AntMan themed. WDW News Today also released a map of the layout of Marvel Land. And here it is. Looking at this layout, another building that's in the process of being constructed is the Web Suppliers. And on the construction site, here's the location of Web Suppliers. Alright, here's a side profile concept art of Web Suppliers. And as you can see, it has an industrial looking feel to it, and it'll be located across from the Spider-Man attraction. Also from this perspective, we can see the stacks of decking that has been placed on top of the horizontal beams of the AntMan building. This is what it looked like last week when the columns and beams were in the process of being added to make up the building. I'll dissolve the picture back to what it looks like today. It is really coming along.
Today's August 8th, 2019.
A rectangular duct for the HVAC system has been added through the side opening of the Spider-Man building. And this duct will eventually be attached to an air handler once an air handler is installed. As we can see, more beams have been added for this building. Notice that workers are on top installing support beams. Located on the ground, a cluster of support beams are ready to be installed. They're in the process of building a top structure, and this can be recognized on the concept art. Now if we focus our attention to the left side of the Spider-Man building, we can see that purple sheathing has been added. Behind the debris netting, we can see that stacks of sheathing that we observed last month are still there. Soon this sheathing in this area will be installed as well.
Today's August 10th, 2019.
These workers that are on top of the Spider-Man building are installing base structures for either air handlers or duct fans. More than likely, the ductwork that is coming through this side opening will be connected to whatever will be placed on top of these base structures to be part of the HVAC system. And here's a close-up of the workers installing the base structures. Sheet metal is being cut, possibly for the base structures. These workers are putting the sheet next to the base structure. If we look down a little bit on the exterior wall, we can see that sheathing has been installed over here as well. This area can be recognized on the concept arts that Disney has released. The area that we're looking at is approximately here. If we compare this to the actual side of the building, we can see what will be attached to this metal plate connector. It'll be this beam holding up one of the Spider-Man banners. Also, if you look closely, you can see a vertical side piece of the building that has a slant near the top. And this can be recognized in the construction as well. And it's located right here. WDW News Today also released concept art of the inside of the Spider-Man attraction. We'll go ahead and look at that next. This is the loading area, and the ride vehicles can be seen. The vehicles look very familiar. If you look closely, you can find it on the poster advertisement that was released quite some time ago. It's basically a side profile of the ride vehicle. Notice this area here. It can definitely be recognized on the vehicles in the loading area. Here's some concept art inside the ride. It looks like a ship or plane of some sort has crashed through the wall. Also, we can see that some spider bots are caught up in some webbing. Here too, we can see a spider bot caught up in some webbing. From this picture, notice the different Marvel references in the scene. Stark Industries, S.H.I.E.L.D., Black Panther, and more. This is interesting. It looks like the tracks go in different directions. The D23 Expo is happening in a couple weeks, and I cannot wait to hear and see what they announce. I'm sure we'll hear more about this attraction and the rest of Marvel Land. Cannot wait.
Today is August 17th, 2019.
A crane is being used today for the Spiderman Building. And this crane is lifting an air handler. An air handler is a device used to regulate and circulate air as part of an HVAC system. It is usually a large metal box containing a blower, heating and cooling elements, filter racks, sound attenuators, and dampers. And the air handlers usually connect to the ductwork ventilation systems that distribute the conditioned air through the building, and then returns it to the air handler. And as you can see, this air handler is being lifted to the left side of the building. More than likely, multiple air handlers will be installed to the HVAC system to supply air to different parts of the building. Alright, here we are on Pixar Pal Around, and as you can see, the crane is continuing to lift equipment for the HVAC system. This time it's lifting an axial fan. Many of these fans will be installed. Axial fans create airflow with a high flow rate, meaning that they create a large volume of airflow. However, the airflows they create are of low pressure. They require a low power input for operation. There are two primary types of fans that are used in HVAC systems. This type and centrifugal fans, also known as centrifugal blowers. During the Galaxy's Edge construction at the Rise of the Resistance show building, As seen here, we saw many of the centrifugal fans being installed. These are very different from axial fans. The pressure of the incoming airstream is increased by a fan wheel, a series of blades mounted in a circular hub. The airflow created by a centrifugal fan is directed through a system of ducts, and this will create a higher pressure airflow than that of an axial fan. Now if we focus our attention to the AntMan microbrewery that they're making, workers are continuing to perform beamwork. As you can see, this worker is welding beams. Over here, a concrete boom pump is adding concrete to a trench. This will more than likely be for a wall or a column footing for a new building. This is where the Doctor Strange building will be located. More HVAC system supplies are being lifted. This time is galvanized steel round bar for duct supports. Here we're located in Carsland, and the crane can be seen in the distance. Another axial fan is being lifted to the show building. Now it's being put in position on one of the base structures that we saw being made last time we were here. Here's another one being lifted, and this axial fan is being lifted to be placed right next to the last one we just saw being installed. And this axial fan is being placed on top of the other base structure that we saw being made last week. Now the crane belts are being released. It's really amazing. The construction of Marvel-Land seems to be going at a rapid pace, and within the next few weeks, it'll be exciting to see the Doctor Strange building start to go vertical. Well, that's a taste of things to come.
We can't wait to see what they build next.